chance to change the answer
Okay,
or just stick to it.
I'll change. I'll be persuaded.
Really?
I'll be persuaded.
Okay, are you sure?
Okay. No, okay. I'll sit with Hanji.
Okay, number 1, Hanji. Is that the answer? Correct.
Sorry to spoil everyone's day.
Okay, it's not easy to take the crown,
Yeah.
Timo.
Yeah.
Not easy. Great
Wow.
job. Okay, so hanji is a traditional Korean handmade paper made carefully using mulberry bark as the material, which is why it's so strong. And unlike Western paper, which usually crumbles after about 100 years, hanjis, they last for 1,000 years. And it's also said to take 99 hands to make this. Yeah, it's a lot of craft work. And one final hand of the person who uses it is 백지. Yeah, so it is also called 백지.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Okay, so 2 people. We have 2 winners
Two
now.
winners.
We'll just go for 2 winners.
2 winners.
No more extra question. 2 winners, okay? And for the 2 people, we have prepared 대학로 or the 해화 theater ticket.
Oh, wow.
That's
2
so cool.
for
Really?
each of you.
Thank you. That's
Theater
super
tickets.
nice.
Thank you so much.
Yay,
Wow.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll give you 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay,
we have to
good
go
job.
together now.
Yeah, you can go together.
Double
Or-
date.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good
Wow.
job, guys.
Thank you so
Timo,
much.
you're
Yeah.
really improving. How
Thank
was
you.
today's quiz?
Well, almost won, but
Yeah.
2 points came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that big
but
one.
no, it was fun. It was fun. I can see I'm improving. So
Yeah, you definitely
finally my
are.
first draw.
Yeah, it's
so
your
I'm
first
happy.
draw.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sorry for the viewers as well. They're probably all rooting for Tebow, and I had to snatch it at the end. So
No, I love that
Yeah.
suspense
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
it's good.
tension. All right, so I guess you're both gonna go watch the play with your dates,
Right,
girlfriend,
yeah.
right? Not.
Oh, I was going to take Tebow, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, you have 2 each.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 2
right.
each.
Oh, 2 each.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
2
okay.
each.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your time in
Thank you.
Haewon.
Thank you so much,
Watching
yeah.
that theater. And we'll have to wrap up now. It's already time to say goodbye. But do join us again tomorrow for more culture to crunch on. And we'll sign off with our last song. Here is 즐거운 생활. It's a pleasant life. This is the ending title version, by the way, by 45 RPM. Shall we say goodbye together?
Yes.
Bye-bye and keep crunching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Keep crunching.
아는 잔치 시간이 영어로 뭐? 선생님들 이름은 뭐? 여러분들을 오늘 재미있는 힙합의 세계로 인도할 우리는 인조
45라고도 해 그냥 이렇게 나에게 솔직한 음악을 추구해 누가 좋아할까 걱정 안해 내겐 별로 중요하지 않은 승패 어렵게
생각할 거 하나 없네 쉽게 생각하면 너무 쉽네 그대 맘속에 존재하는 리듬에 맞춰 따라가다 보면 나올 거야 즐거운 인생 살아가 DJ 따라 리듬에 맞춰다 박을 문질러 MC 따라 리듬에 맞춰다 힙합을 외쳐 비보이 따라 리듬에 맞춰다 같이 춤을 춰 우릴 따라 리듬에 맞춰다 같이 손뼉 쳐
내 삶과 함께하는 힙합 뮤직 내게 일러준 건 오직 정직 학교에서는 깨닫지 못한 공식 내 사전에 없는 단어 거짓 우리 믿고 함께하는 사람 무대 앞에 영원히 함께하는 나의 팀은 옆에 내 뒤에 사랑하는 가족 친구 이걸로 태어난 음악이란 열매
배고파도 배부른 척 사람들 앞에 힘들어서 눈물 나도 웃을 수밖에 무대에선 즐거워서 사실 ORP 돈 없어도 힙합 있으면 I don't care One, two, three, four, 4분의 4박자 롬이어오고 있는 비트에 맞춰 크루를 타고 있네 4545억 4545만 4545 개인의 세포 좌뇌로 우뇌로 왔다리 갔다리 머릿속은 난리 나는 뇌세 도의 파리 음악이 있는 파리 다 같이 everybody
라리다리 We like the party 너와 주문은 전쟁을 초래 사랑과 평화는 바로 이곡에 너와 나 사이를 이어주는 선 리듬과 흐름을 이어가서 다시 턴
싸우지들 말고 헐뜯지들 말고 그냥 편하게 생각하면 되는데 왜 서로 이를 갈고 열받고 짜증나고 슬플 때 너를 위해 기쁘게 해줄게 DJ 따라 리듬에 맞춰다 박을 문질러 MC 따라
말 좀 들어보렴. 우리나라에도 애초에 랩이 있었으니 잘 듣고 따라해봐. Listen and repeat.
인천 앞바다에 사이다가 떴어도 독보가 없으면 못 마십니다. 인천
Time to set the facts straight. Get Korea right. K-culture is sweeping the globe. K-pop, K-drama, K-movie, K-food, and even K-beauty. Korean cultural content is gaining more and more fans worldwide. It's indeed the golden age of K-culture. But with this growing interest comes an increase in misinformation about Korea. There's so much inaccurate information out there. Even AI can sometimes get it wrong. So, we must set things straight and correct all the misinformation. So here's the plan. The Voluntary Agency Network of Korea, VANK, and Arirang TV present the Get Korea Right project. Our goal is to provide accurate information on important keywords that come to mind when we think of Korea. Blatant errors and false claims that distort history. It's time to set the record straight, sharing the true history and culture of Korea while raising the national brand. Let's get started with Get Korea Right. Are you ready to join?
Introducing Korean broadcast content that you won't be able to stop watching. For weary modern souls, Dr. Romantic, the quirky genius doctor of Puldam Hospital, prescribes heartwarming tales of humanity. A couple together for 7 years sees their rose-tinted glasses shatter. Can they keep their relationship alive? Discover the raw stories of youth, work, and love. Beyond what social media can show, experience the vibrant Korea through its hidden gems. Mama, the ultimate K-pop festival for global fans. Find your star in a feast of trendy music and electrifying performances. And now, the whole world enjoys it together.
North Korea announced that it has begun one of its biggest political events, its Key Party Congress. Eyes are now on the regime's policy direction over the next 5 years, as well as on whether leader Kim Jong-un will position his teenage daughter as his successor. Amid ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran, President Trump says the world will know within the next 10 days whether Washington can reach a deal with Tehran or take a step further toward military action. Military sources in South Korea say U.S. and Chinese military aircraft briefly faced off near the Korean peninsula on Wednesday, following an aerial drill by U.S. Forces Korea over the West Sea. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. We begin today with North Korea, which has kicked off one of its biggest political events, the Workers' Party Congress. Last held in 2021, the event is drawing attention over what the regime's policy will be over the next 5 years, and whether Kim Jong-un will position his daughter as the designated successor. Our An Sung-jin starts us off.
North Korea began the 9th Congress of the ruling Workers' Party of Korea on Thursday. According to its state media, the Korean Central News Agency on Friday, the Congress, the regime's most significant political event, opened in Pyongyang. In his opening address, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he is filled with optimism and confidence about the future. He said that compared to the situation 5 years ago at the previous party congress, North Korea had irreversibly consolidated its national status and brought about significant changes in the global political landscape. Kim's speech did not mention the United States, South Korea, or the North's nuclear capabilities, but rather focused on economic issues. Kim stressed that the party is working on boosting economic development and improving people's livelihoods through regional development policies and rural reform programs. A notable change from the previous Congress is a generational shift in the executive body leadership. Most of Kim's close aides have retained prominent positions, but 59% of the executive body have been replaced. Senior figures including Kim Yong-chol have been removed, and instead Foreign Minister Choi Sun-hee and Defense Minister No Kwang-chol have been added to the executive body. Foreign Minister Choi has been one of the most prominent voices in Pyongyang's redefining of inter-Korean relations as those between two hostile states. Meanwhile, attention is also focused on whether Kim's daughter Kim Joo-ae will be formally designated as his successor. Her appearances at major state events allegedly have been building up her public profile since late last year, potentially hinting at an elevated status.
Of North Korea's political system, which is very similar to a theocracy, leader's gender does not really play a large role because the members are basically deities, not humans. So it is totally up to what Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un is going to decide.
The party congress may clarify her future status within the regime. The Congress agenda includes reviewing the work of the party's Central Committee, revising party rules, and electing central leadership bodies. Around 5,000 delegates are attending the Congress, with 224 members from the central party bodies and 4,776 representatives elected from regional units. In North Korea, where the ruling party governs all state institutions, the Party Congress is the highest decision-making body and is expected to set domestic and foreign policy directions for the next 5 years. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
U.S. and Chinese forces briefly faced off near the Korean peninsula after U.S. Forces Korea conducted a large-scale air drill over the West Sea. According to military sources on Friday, more than 10 U.S. Forces Korea F-16 fighter jets took off from Osan Air Base in Pyeongtaek on Wednesday and flew over international airspace in the West Sea. As the U.S. jets got close to China's air defense identification zone, Beijing scrambled fighter aircraft, resulting in a temporary standoff. Neither side entered the other's airspace. USFK notified the South Korean military in advance of the drill, but did not explain its specific purpose. The Defense Ministry said it cannot confirm matters related to USFK operations, adding that allied forces maintain a strong combined defense posture. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump hinted he would decide within the next 10 days whether to take action against Iran beyond ongoing peace talks, pressuring Tehran to reach a nuclear deal to avoid military action. As negotiations continue, Israel is also warning of severe consequences if Tehran launches any attack. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the world will know within the next 10 days whether Washington reaches a deal with Iran or moves toward military action. Speaking at the inaugural meeting of his Board of Peace in Washington on Thursday, Trump said negotiations over Iran's nuclear program are ongoing, but warned that the United States may have to take it a step further if progress stalls.
So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
In recent days, the U.S. has increased its military presence in the Middle East, even as American and Iranian negotiators reported progress during talks in Switzerland. Trump says Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner held what he described as very good meetings with Iranian officials. However, the prospect of military action has sparked political debate in Washington. Democratic lawmakers, along with some Republicans, have voiced opposition to any strike against Iran without congressional approval. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed combat officers in southern Israel, making clear that Israel is closely watching the negotiations. Netanyahu warned that Iran would face what he called an unimaginable response if it attacks Israel.
We are prepared for any scenario. And one thing is certain, if the Ayatollahs make the mistake and attack us, they will experience a response they cannot even imagine.
He reiterated his long-standing position that dismantling Iran's nuclear infrastructure is essential to any lasting agreement. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is scheduled to meet Netanyahu in Israel on February 28th, with Iran expected to top the agenda. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
And here in South Korea, the Seoul Central District Court has sentenced former President Yoon Suk-yeol to life in prison for masterminding an insurrection linked to his martial law attempt in late 2024. Our Buniran reports.
I will now pronounce the sentence. The defendant, Yoon Suk-yeol, is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment.
More than a year after his declaration of martial law, former President Yoon Suk-yeol was sentenced to life in a first-instance ruling that found his actions amounted to an attempt to overthrow the constitutional order. The verdict was delivered Thursday afternoon by Chief Judge Ji Gui-yeon at the Seoul Central District Court, with Yoon appearing in person as the proceedings were broadcast live nationwide. Judge Ji began by reading the indictment, followed by determinations on guilt or innocence, and an explanation of sentencing reasons before making the formal pronouncement of the verdict. In its decision, the court said it was difficult to deny that Yoon intended to paralyze the National Assembly by deploying troops to seal off the legislature and detain key political figures, thereby preventing parliamentary functions for a substantial period. While the declaration of martial law itself does not automatically amount to insurrection, the court ruled that this case qualified as such because it was carried out with the aim of disabling constitutional institutions. In sentencing, the court said Yoon had directly and proactively planned the crime and involved numerous individuals, noting the enormous social cost caused by the martial law declaration and criticizing the defendant for showing little sign of remorse. It also pointed out that Yoon repeatedly refused to attend trial hearings without a justifiable reason. At the same time, the court cited mitigating factors, including the apparent lack of meticulous planning, efforts to restrain the use of physical force, the absence of live ammunition or direct acts of violence, the failure of most plans, Yoon's lack of prior criminal record, his long career as a public servant, and his age of 65. These factors appear to be the reasons why Yoon was sentenced to life imprisonment as opposed to the death penalty as sought by prosecutors. 7 others were also sentenced, including former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun, who received 30 years in prison, and former National Police Agency Commissioner Cho Ji-ho, who was sentenced to 12 years. Following the sentencing, Yoon's defense team accused the judiciary of applying double standards and said they were considering an appeal, vowing to continue fighting to clear Yoon's name. 문혜련, 아리랑 뉴스.
The development of artificial intelligence is now making its way into humanoid robots. But what expectations do people in Seoul have for a future alongside these machines? Our correspondent Park Jun-an went to Korea's financial hub, Yeouido, to find out.
Until very recently, a human-like robot performing a backflip was something we could only imagine. While companies have been using robots in industrial settings for years, advances in artificial intelligence are driving robots toward the next generation, physical AI. With robots now able to perform complex human-like movements, their potential applications in industry are becoming increasingly promising. And investors' excitement over the robots is already spilling into the financial markets.
While it may take some time for Korean robots to be used in our daily lives, the stock market is already reacting positively. Shares in robotics-related companies have surged, in some cases by several 100%.
On the streets of Seoul's Yeouido, often called the Wall Street of Korea, many people are already considering what humanoid robots might mean for the future.
We're seeing many robotics companies here developing machines that can be deployed directly at industrial sites. 2026 could mark the initial phase of introducing robots into real-world operations, and the investment community has high expectations.
And some are already thinking about the next step, how to use robots to improve efficiency.
There's a growing perception that humanoid robots can serve as a form of labor leverage. I think the more important question is how we can effectively integrate AI into our work processes and make the most of it.
As new technologies emerge, the debate continues over whether humans will be replaced by robots or whether robots will ultimately enhance the efficiency of human labor. Park Jun-an, Arirang News.
On the cultural front, from musician to painter, one of Korea's most influential composers, Kim Soo-chul, has unveiled a new artistic language, transforming sound into color on canvas. Our correspondent Cho Young-eun takes us inside his latest exhibition.
A vast black and white canvas captures the imagined sounds on distant planets. Sonic Genesis 30 and 31 reveal Kim Soo-chul's surreal universe. In that other dimension, paint flows in every direction, with dark masses like black holes observing intense energy.
It doesn't stop with our world. Looking at the night sky, I grew curious about other planets, what they're like and what they sound like. So I imagined visiting them and I expressed those sounds and feelings.
On textured blue backgrounds, bold red circles burst outward, as if sound itself is vibrating through paint. The Sonic of Blue series layers sweeping blue brushstrokes to express the vitality of nature. His paintings span a spectrum from the sound of buds sprouting to emotions like sorrow and joy, and the metallic tones of distant planets.
I listened to conversations, the sounds of the world, distant sadness and joy, the sounds of dreams, and the living sounds of nature. And I painted the feelings of what I heard.
Nicknamed the Little Giant, Kim has shaped Korea's music scene for nearly half a century, from pop to traditional Korean music or kuga. His curiosity about the roots of Korean sound eventually led to his dedication to Korean music. He served as music director for 1986 Asian Games, the 1988 Summer Olympics, and the 2002 FIFA World Cup, bringing the spirit of Korean sound to global audiences.
We're working to make our traditional sounds more accessible to modern people, to bring Korean traditional music closer to everyday life and popularize it. We will continue modernizing and integrating our traditional sounds into daily life.
Kim continues to redefine artistic expression, now expanding his practice through sound paintings. Kim Soo-chul's Colors of Sound exhibition runs through March at Seoul Art Center. 조영은, Arirang News.
South Korea's 2018 Olympic bobsleigh silver medalist Won Yun-jong has been elected to the International Olympic Committee's Athletes Commission, becoming just the third South Korean and the country's first Winter Olympian to join the body. The IOC announced the voting results on Thursday, with Won finishing first among 11 candidates. He received 1,176 votes from 2,393 athletes who cast ballots. Commission members serve 8-year terms and hold the same rights and responsibilities as other IOC members. Won piloted South Korea to silver in the 4-man bobsleigh at the Pyeongchang Winter Games. He follows 2004 Olympic champions Moon Dae-sung and Yoo Seung-min as the only South Koreans elected to the commission.
Hello and welcome. I am your AI sports correspondent, Arirang. This section features AI-generated content and scripts, bringing you the latest news from the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026. Here are our top stories. South Korea's women's curling team fell short of the Olympic semifinals following a 10-7 defeat against Canada on Friday. Despite 3 points in the third end and 2 points in the ninth, the squad could not overcome Canada's 4-point haul in the sixth end. This result left South Korea with a 5-4 record, placing the team 5th in the overall round-robin standings. The team missed the semifinals after the United States defeated Switzerland in an extra and to secure the final playoff position. South Korean figure skaters Lee Hae-in and Shin-ja recorded their highest scores of the season during the women's single free skate on Friday at the Milano Ice Skating Arena. Lee Hae-in earned a total of 210.56 points, surpassing her previous seasonal high by around 8 points. Shin-ja posted a personal best free skate score of 141.02 points, resulting in a combined total of 206.68 points. Despite a fall during a triple loop, Shin successfully concluded her debut Olympic performance and said she is now focused on the 2030 Winter Games. South Korean skiers Kim Da-eun and Lee So-young have failed to advance to the freestyle ski women's half-pipe final. Kim finished 20th out of 21 competitors on Friday morning Korean time with a top score of 41.50 points, while Lee So-young, making her Olympic debut, placed 21st with 29.25 points. Both athletes missed the 12th ski cut-off required for the medal round. Zoe Atkin of Great Britain led the qualification field with a score of 91.5 points. The Milano Cortina Winter Olympics will conclude this Sunday in Verona with a ceremony designed to highlight environmental conservation and animal protection. The production at the Verona Arena features a water drop stage to symbolize climate change awareness and replaces fireworks with a light show to avoid disturbing local wildlife. During the event, Italy will officially hand over the Olympic flag to France, the host of the 2030 Games. This sustainable finale concludes the Winter Games. The ancient Roman amphitheater will also host the Paralympic opening ceremony in March. Before we head out, let's look ahead. Appearing now on your screen are the current medal standings and the upcoming schedule for the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026.
Today is set to be warmer than yesterday. Then temperatures will climb even higher tomorrow. Seoul will get up to 17 degrees Celsius on Saturday, feeling more like April than late winter. And along with a rise in temperatures, air quality will get worse. Ultrafine dust may cause hazy conditions across the central regions, the Jeollado provinces, and Jeju Island at times. Meanwhile, dry weather advisories have been expanded to more regions now. And with dry air persisting, caution is needed to prevent wildfires. And this afternoon, Seoul will get up to 13 degrees Celsius. Gwangju, Busan, Daejeon will be getting up to 15 degrees under sunny skies in most parts. Air quality should remain bad through Saturday. Then nationwide rain on Sunday will bring chilly air back to the country on Monday, with more wintry conditions expected for Tuesday.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
Time to set the facts straight. Get Korea right.
서시 죽는 날까지 하늘을 우러러 한 점 부끄럼이 없기를. 잎새이는 바람에도 나는 괴로워했다. 별을 노래하는 마음으로 모든 죽어가는 것을 사랑해야지.